Hello, everybody. It's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor. I am live with you guys to do something a little different today. We're going to be tracing a door hanger template on an 11 by 14 inch canvas. I'm going to show you how to trace it, how to paint it, so that you can make the most use out of your templates, because some of you guys have so many of these and you think you can only use them on wood. But you know what? There's so many other ways you can use door hanger templates. You could trace them on canvas. You could trace them on a fabric like canvas, like garden flag. You could even put them on like a shirt. We have members in our community in the Painters Clubhouse who have traced door hanger templates on like sweatshirts and made designs like that. So one of our members, Miss Pam Savage, even paints on like denim jackets and aprons and hats and all kinds of things. So I want you to get outside the thinking of, I have to use this template on a door hanger today, and we're going to be using it on canvas. So I've got an 11 by 14 inch canvas here. I've printed my Hello Spring Henrietta template out in a 12 inch. So this is a 12-inch round. And you can see that it fits pretty well on this canvas. And we can do it either way. We can do it like this, and we'll just have to fill out, you know, the sky up here. We'll have to extend our grass and greenery down below, or we can flip it horizontally and put it on here. And then we would probably need to add like an extra flower or two left to right. So, and then of course, Henrietta's comb there is just about to disappear off the top of the canvas. So if I were going to do that, I would scoot her down just a little, so that the flowers were the ones kind of going off the bottom here. So I think I'm actually going to do it this direction just because I like the way it fills out the canvas a little bit. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you've done this before. I'm curious how many of you guys have used your door hanger templates on canvas. Hello, Crystal. Barbara's here. Good afternoon, Dawn and Wanda. Hey, Amy. Hey, Cassie and Margarita. I'm so glad you guys are all here. All right, we're going to start by just, well, the smart thing to do here is to figure out where you want to put your template. And we're going to put a little piece of tape, because once you put it down, it's so easy to accidentally bump it, move it around, and then you're frustrated because you have a hard time lining it back up again. So just take the time. I'm coaching myself here. Take the time, Tamara, to get the tape out. Tape your template down. You'll thank yourself later.
Don't be impatient.
Don't be impatient. Michael's here with me. Hey, Laura, I saw you got your ticket to PC Live yesterday. I'm so excited that you're coming back. If you didn't know, we've been selling tickets this past week to our event here in Kentucky at our wood shop. It's called PC Live. It's just for our Painters Clubhouse members. So if you're not a Painters Clubhouse member, go join at paintersclubhouse.com, and you can join us here in Kentucky in July. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Robin. All right, we're gonna flip that up, and I'm just gonna slide my graphite paper underneath. If you don't have any graphite paper, you can grab this on Amazon, at Hobby Lobby. This side of it has carbon on it, and so that you can see I've used this lots and lots of times. See all the little scratches on it? You can reuse it over and over again, so don't throw it away after its first use. And we're just gonna trace the design onto the canvas. So I'm gonna let Michael read comments, ask questions while I do this, because I gotta kind of keep my head looking down to get this done. What's everybody been up to?
Let's see. Amy said, I've done templates on canvas. They work great on just about any surface. And then Bonnie said she said whenever she doesn't have around, she'll use canvas.
It's a great alternative. Hey, do me a favor and grab a couple of those canvases that are up there, and I'll show them an example of a couple that I've done before. See, this flower disappears off the edge. So you'll just start tracing it wherever it hits.
Oh, Robin said she's done it on glass.
Oh, I did one on acrylic one time, on like an acrylic frame. That turned out really cute. So this is one that I've done before. And this is our Easter truck design. I think I actually did this one on Facebook Live a while back. And so we traced the truck in the middle of the canvas, and then we just created a scene around the design. So obviously not all door hanger designs are going to be well suited for this, but there are plenty of them that you could adapt. That one's not, though. This is another cute design, but that was one that I painted at a paint party. It wasn't a door hanger template, but gnomes would make a really great canvas edition. And then at a past, yeah, we taught that at SA Live in 2019, I think. Like this is an OG. Heidi easily taught this design. This is just a canvas painting she taught at one of our SA Lives. But that's not a door hanger design, but you could trace like a bunny door hanger onto a canvas. I have done several of these for Easter, but I didn't have any that were just general spring. So that's why I picked this one.
You can do what I do, and you can Frankenstein some stuff.
Frankenstein, a couple of, yeah. So he's talking about like you could also take elements from one door hanger and incorporate them into another. Like if you just wanted the chicken from this one, you could trace it and then use flowers from another design, or Christmas presents or a Christmas tree. You could kind of Frankenstein different elements of a template together to create your own version of that design. So that's kind of cool.
Sherry said she's been trying to stay warm.
It is warming up here in Kentucky today. It's nearly, well, it's 68 degrees right now.
Dawn said she has problems putting her picture on. The lines are too light.
You may not be using enough pressure. I'm using to my glasses off. I'm using just a ballpoint pen, and I'm literally just tracing the design on here, and I am applying enough pressure. So you want to make sure you feel the pen kind of scratch the canvas or the door hanger underneath.
Oh, Laura Rawson, she had Bo's mom a baby shower this past weekend. We are ready for Emerson K to arrive.
Oh, how exciting. New grandbabies are always exciting. I am just loosely putting the leaves and the stems on here because there's going to be so much grass and stuff going on. It doesn't matter if you trace this perfectly. Just get the gist of it on there. Don't forget Henrietta's face. I'm going to go ahead and put that on there.
Amy said, oh, I remember your Faith Can Move Mountains on the frame clear acrylic. It was gorgeous. And she said foam boards work great too. Lowe's for $18.99.
I've been watching videos on Facebook and TikTok of people who are painting on foam boards. And I actually got one of those Hot Tool foam cutters. I just need to go and buy some foam and like attempt to do something like that.
Is it hard foam or soft foam?
It's kind of hard. Like it's it's like a thick poster board type material. It's about yay thick.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like insulation, right? Or something.
Is it pink?
No, it's usually like a purpley blue.
Then yeah, it's probably insulation.
I may come back and put my words on later, or I may decide it doesn't need words. So we'll just peel that off. Take a look. Can you see our chicken on there?
Kathy says I've done lots of canvas and then add glass and resin.
Ooh, yes. Glass and resin is another way to take it to the next level. Something else you can do is grab, which I don't have one, a Sharpie.
I've got a fine point.
Do you have a Sharpie? Oh, well, that might work. And sometimes I'll do this if I'm afraid I'm going to lose certain details, like this little beak. I'm going to go ahead and trace this because I know once I start painting Henrietta's face and stuff, sometimes it can be easy to lose some of those. So this is a Sharpie fine tip pen, and it just makes it a little easier to see those details. I'll put them on here, trace right on top of my graphite lines.
Marie Mosley said it is insulation foam sheets. And then Robin said, I just bought a box of wood-shaped. Now I'll have to figure out what to do with them all. You just keep them around the shop or around wherever, and when the idea hits you. They also make, you can get them at Hobby Lobby and I think Walmart too, wood canvases, square or even circular, which is, it's just kind of MDF or wood that's kind of laid on top of the wooden circle or square.
Yeah.
Probably a good would job explaining that.
Dalton door hanger says, how's the foam hold up as a door hanger? I would assume it holds up fine. It could probably break easily if it blew off the door and, got smashed into something. But like my door is behind a glass storm door. So whatever I hang on it is usually pretty protected. I've never tried that, but I have seen other people use it. Okay, I'm getting some of the Blue Haven color and a little bit of white, and we're going to just work on our sky first. I'm going to use a flat tip brush to kind of cover a large area.
Sherry said, I have some cabinet doors from my husband's cabinet shop that I'm going to trace some Easter designs on. That'd be pretty cool, especially, if it's got, your border.
Yeah.
Cute. Dawn said, I'm watching you on my phone, Oops. Men's ice skating on TV, and curling on my iPad.
Tell me you've got ADD without telling me you've got ADD. Got to do multiple things at a time. Always be multitasking. Now, painting on canvas is a little different than painting like a door hanger. The paint goes on to the canvas different than it goes on a door hanger. You're going to have a little bit more like texture because the texture of the canvas. And so I don't know, painting on canvas to me allows me to kind of feel like I don't have to get like perfect coats of things, because allowing the canvas to kind of pop through gives it a little bit more dimension, whereas you don't really have that when you're painting on a wood MDF door hanger. You don't want that MDF showing through because then it looks unfinished. But on a canvas, I feel like sometimes it's a little more forgiving.
Amy Iverson, she asked, wondering what you would use the insulation sheet creations for. Now, one thing that Maria Mosley responded was that she's seen people use them for large party decor and yard art.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, like party decor, foam props for pictures, yard art, things like that. Maybe even like parade float decorations if you're doing like a Christmas parade float. So many things you could do. I mean, you could even use them like as seasonal home decor. Like if you wanted to put some giant hearts up for Valentine's Day, you could paint some on foam board and like hang them on something. I don't know. Since it's foam, it's a lot lighter, so you could use it on a lot of different things that you probably couldn't use wood on because it's lighter. Okay, so I'm only going that far down with my sky. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white now and intentionally just kind of add a little bit back in to kind of create just a little bit of depth.
When you're painting canvas, do you worry about your sides?
I usually like to come back and paint my edges just a little bit. Or something Heidi easily taught me, she paints on canvas a lot, is to come back and do like a little border, like a pattern on the edges. So that's kind of fun. I might do something like that on this one.
Nobody asked that. I was just curious because I'm looking at the side angle.
You're like, she's missing the edges.
That's something, I don't know if it would bother me.
It would bother you because you're a perfectionist.
but yeah, like I was just sitting there to notice it. Well, like I have always, and you know this, I've always, and one of these days I will take the time to sit down and watch some Bob Ross.
Uh-oh.
And
paint booger. Ah!
He went nice.
I got it.
And paint landscape.
Yeah, paint a Bob Ross landscape. I feel like, hang on. This is driving me crazy because the canvas is scooting around on camera and I'm trying to keep it underneath the camera. I'm going to put some tape underneath my canvas so it doesn't scoot around while I'm painting on it.
Marie Mosley said in reference to the foam boards, they said it's nowhere near as heavy as wood. My cousin does a float in Christmas parade every year, and everything is made of foam boards.
That's so cool.
I think Corey occasionally has used foam boards for whenever him and Ken Lake put one in the Christmas parade. Mm-hmm. Tamara's been getting a little bit of an itch to put a float in the Christmas parade, but I don't think
with all the free time that I have,
I don't think it's fully taken hold yet.
There we go. Taping it to my table. That way it kind of, I got to tape the bottom too. It kind of stays put. It's driving me crazy. I kept trying to keep it on camera and it kept scooting around. There we go.
Nancy said, hey, I was just thinking about the chickens. It's getting time for all the little creatures, bunnies, ducks, chicks, etc.
I know. I am ready for spring.
We're actually going to have to get some more chickens.
Yes, our flock of chickens has been depleted quite a bit. I don't know if a fox got in the hen house or something like that, but we're going to have to rebuild our flock. So a friend of mine owns like a big chicken barn, and she has said she had a bunch of hens for sale. And so I think I'm going to buy some from her. Okay, looking to see which brush to switch to. I think I'm going to switch to a smaller flat tip brush. This one's only about a 1/2 inch wide. And then I'm going to start laying down the base coat for Henrietta's body. Now, she is not going to be white. She's going to be buttermilk, light buttermilk. Whoops, this paint has not been shaken. Poor chickies.
Yeah, and they got a hold of Karen.
Karen was the rooster. He's gone.
Yeah, he was the one that, like, it was a Polish chicken, and he looked like he went to a rock concert. His top feathers and stuff.
To me, he looked like Rod Stewart, like as if Rod Stewart was a chicken. So it made me sad to know he was not with us any longer.
So we are going to have to get some random pulls to see if we get a rooster.
I don't want another rooster.
Why not?
Because.
They're so fun.
To who?
To me. You know, they like, you know, all fluff up and they come up to you like, gonna whoop you. It's hilarious.
Depending on the color that you're painting with, you should still be able to see your graphite lines underneath the paint. So I can still kind of see them under this light buttermilk color. So therefore, I'm not being real careful about where I put this. Like if it goes on top of some of the flower or on top of some of the stems, I'm just letting that be. I know I'm also going to come back through here with, you know, grass and stuff like that and cover most of this up. So we're just kind of putting it in here.
Yeah, Kathy said you need to put an electrical fence around the base of the chicken coop, and we do have something like that, but it's primarily for the dogs.
Yeah.
Camber did get, and I need to install it, an automatic for the coop itself, not for the run, but an automatic door closer. And Sheila said painted Pancake Studio.
Yes, I follow them on Facebook. I've been seeing where they've been painting the foam boards.
And, you know, they could answer some questions about that.
So cool. This is a part where you can't judge your own artwork because it does look a hot mess right here. Like this is definitely the messy middle, but we're just laying our background colors down, so don't worry.
Dalton Door Hangers says, I have painted the girl and boy friend snowman shelf sitters. I'm now addicted to shelf sitters. Do you have any spring Easter shelf sitters?
I'm trying to think. Do we have any spring or Easter shelf sitters? We've done a couple things like that in the Painters Clubhouse, but shelf sitters definitely aren't our expertise so much as door hangers are.
We have Christmas.
We definitely have some Christmas and winter ones. Now this color is called Tuscan Red. I'm going in with a even smaller flat tip brush and just kind of putting this color down for the comb and wattles. That's what the thing on top of the chicken head and under her beak is called.
Amy Iverson said, we're new to chickens. Ours are just 15 weeks old right now. Can't wait for eggs.
Chickens are so fun. And people think that they're like hard to keep. They're really not.
No.
Chickens are like one of the easiest things that you can do as far as homesteading goes. They're very low maintenance.
Sometimes you will have to train your dogs to not mess with them. But then once you do that, then usually anything that they'll protect the chickens, anything that comes in the yard.
Well, and that's part of the reason we had a fox skin in our hen house is the dog that was so most protective of everything in the yard passed last January. So
yeah,
he was the guardian of the chickens. Okay, there's her comb. Now let's do the wattles down below.
Who's my dog? I hate that sucked.
We'd had him for a long time.
13 years. We did. We actually, Nancy said, didn't y'all create a stand for the small pieces? We actually have stands that will fit 6. You may double check me on this, but I think it's 6, 8, 12, and 18.
Yeah, we have little sign stands so you can kind of turn some of our other shapes into shelf sitters. The thing you want to be careful of on some of this is making sure you cover that Sharpie line or the graphite paper line back up. If it still shows through a little bit at the very end, not to worry. We can always add some accents with our fine tip paint pens, which I've got some new paint pens to try out today. Have you guys seen these at Walmart? I didn't even know they made these, but they're Apple Barrel brand paint pens at Walmart. So I got a black and white fine tip and an ultra fine tip and a medium tip pen. So we're going to try some of those out here in a bit.
Haley Hunter on YouTube said, "Hello, Tamer. How are you?"
Hey, Haley.
And yeah, Elizabeth. I guess I had never thought of him as a fur baby, but he was my first, like me personally, my first dog ever. And yeah, I'm pretty emotional for a little while. Really said if I raised chickens, I would never eat chicken again. I couldn't. I don't know if I could eat my own chickens.
Eat my own chickens.
Like I mean, I don't mind eating eggs, and I don't mind eating chicken, but
you got to not get attached to their little personalities. That's the problem.
It's kind of like if I had a pig, and I got to, know Wilbur and
Wilbur.
cared for Wilbur and whatnot. I don't know that I could turn him into bacon and sausage.
Crystal says, now that I have that ice cube tray, I can't wait to use it next weekend while I'm puppy sitting. Y'all, I had a video where I was cleaning the paint out of one of my paint trays the other day, go viral on YouTube, and it's at nearly 1 million views. So if you're here from that video, welcome. This is what we normally do. Isn't it crazy? One video of me cleaning out a paint tray went viral on YouTube Shorts. Okay, now I'm taking the light mocha color. I'm going to test out my new camera here and see if I can zoom in for y'all a bit. Michael got me this new overhead webcam that zooms in a little better, and it allows you to kind of pan. Whoa. Let's see if I can get it up here where I want it. There we go. It allows you to kind of pan around. And so I'm going to kind of just add some little details of some little feathers. And I'm just using the light mocha color. So it's really subtle. And I'm just using a little round tip brush and just kind of doing little U shapes to look like feathers.
And he said, I can't eat animals that I'm raising. And then Nancy chimed in and said, don't name them.
Don't name them.
But that's, yeah, with the kids and everything, they usually will, especially with the chickens, they usually come up with names.
Well, and if you don't know this about chickens, if you are raising chickens for meat, you have to eat them when they're very young. Like you can't let them grow to be 2 and 3 years old and then eat them, or the meat is tough.
Yeah,
tougher.
I didn't know that.
It's not edible, but it's not as good as like the chickens that are only like, I don't know how old, like 4 to 6 months old. Somebody who knows about this kind of stuff would have to tell me, but there's a certain like time frame where you raise them up and then you slaughter them before they're like a year old. So the chicken meat is like really tender. So if you think about that, like they're not so much your pets if you've only had them a few months. They're like temporary guests. That sounded like an evil laugh as I said that. I love to eat chicken. I'm sorry. They're temporary guests. But we don't raise chickens for meat because that's so much trouble going through the process of processing it and slaughtering them and all that. And I can't. It's too tedious. Maybe if I had to, but for now, I'll just go to Sam's Club and buy a rotisserie chicken. Okay, let me pan y'all down a little further.
Dog door hangers. I think they meant ring those necks.
Yeah. Now I am the designated chicken killer in our family. Like if we have to put one out to pasture, it's me who does it.
That's only because I said I would do it as long as you're going to help me process deer whenever I go hunting.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Kathy said, I can remember my great-grandmother wringing chickens' necks, plucking them, and frying them up for dinner on Sundays.
Doesn't get much more fresh than that, does it?
So, Crystal wanted to know, what color are you using for the fur on Henrietta?
So the background is light buttermilk, and then these little feathers are light mocha. So it's a real subtle subtle difference, but it's enough that like if you were to lean side to side, you can see her little feathers, stuff like that. And I really probably should have made some of these feathers coming this way, kind of go this direction instead of all go down. So I'm adding a few more in that kind of go side to side, messing them up a little bit, make them look like they're going directionally.
Huh. Elizabeth Douglas said, I have friends that have a house-trained pig as a pet, but his nickname is Bacon and or Sausage.
That's too funny. Add a few more down here on the neck.
If it was up to Brett, our youngest son, we'd have a zoo.
Yes.
And I mean probably a literal zoo.
There we go. Let me put the lid back on this. And let's work on some flowers, I believe. Let's see. Do I want to do the flowers yet? Yeah, I think I do. Hello, Danetta. How's it going? So the colors I picked for my flowers are tea berry. It's kind of a coral, purple cow, and cadmium yellow. So nice, bright spring flowers. And then we're going to have some greenery in this color. So this is kind of what we're going for here. I'm pulling up a picture of Henrietta so I can kind of have it as a reference. So our first flower here is going to be yellow. So I'm going to start with the yellow flowers.
When you said that's me, I'd have a zoo, but I want to do all the upkeep. Dawn said we had a cow a long time ago, and his name was Table Scraps.
Table Scraps. That's funny. That's funny, Cindy. Cindy said her pawpaw bought a pig with intentions of slaughtering it. Granny got attached to it, and the pig was hanging in the basement, and Granny didn't speak to pawpaw for weeks. Poor Granny. Oh, my. I'm going back to my skinny little flat tip brush here in the cadmium yellow, and I'm just going to add down a base layer of this yellow, and then I'm going to come back with a little bit of white and kind of put some in the middle, kind of add some dimension.
Emma's always wanted goats. Speaking of upkeep, but I just didn't want to do the fence because no matter how well you do the fence, they're getting out.
Goats are like escape artists. They're very tricky. Now I'm taking a little bit of white and kind of putting it in the middle here to kind of give the flower just a little bit more color, not just yellow. Let's do the next one. So this one right here is going to be yellow, and then this one over here will be yellow.
That's probably Brett probably gets it from you.
Mm-hmm.
She would love horses and
oh yeah, I love
Holland
animals.
cow and
Brett's always asking for another pet. He texted me just this morning and was like, "Can we adopt our neighbor's cat? They're gonna have to get rid of it." I'm like, "No, we already have 6 cats."
not all inside.
Not all of them are inside, thankfully. And then another yellow one over here.
Dawn Doorhanger said if the goats are very hungry or thirsty, they will break out of jail.
So if they're content, they won't. Is that what she's saying?
I guess.
Keep them well fed and they'll stay happy, I guess.
Of course, if we ever got goats, I'm going to get the fainting goats.
The fainting goats, the funny goats. Amy wants a Highland cow. Talk to Heidi about that. Heidi wanted Highland cows too. She went and did her research and found out that she said that they were a myth, that they aren't actually miniature. She wanted miniature Highland cows, and they told her, they were like, those aren't real. Like they all grow up to be big.
Yeah. Donkeys can be funny too, but Elizabeth said you guys need a donkey to keep the coyotes away.
Now I'm painting each flower with the tea berry. This again is like a really bright, fun coral color. So I'm putting a little bit of that down, and then while it's wet, I'm picking up a little bit of white and just kind of swiping some white in the middle to give it just a little bit of shape. It's a simple way to kind of add some detail to a flower. If you get too much, just come back with some tea berry and add a little more in. We're keeping these flowers pretty simple because we're going to add some more details later with our paint pens, so we don't really have to worry about making the flowers look really shaded or detailed. The paint pens are going to add fun little doodles to kind of make this all have a little bit more detail.
Christina always wanted horses, and Jeanette said, "What's one other cat? I have 10 dogs and one great grand dog, so 11 living with me."
Grand dog.
My dad had a donkey and bred it to the mini horses to then have a miniature donkey. Huh.
That's fun. Okay, I kind of like that look there where you take the white. Whoops, I forgot I was taped to the table. You take the white and kind of swipe it upwards, and it just kind of gives the flowers like a pretty shape to them. I'm going to rinse my brush out. Now we're going to do the purple flowers. And we're using Purple Cow for these.
Sabrina said, "Just joining. Is Tamara using a canvas and template?"
Yes, I am using a 12-inch. Whoops. I'm using a 12-inch door hanger template. So this is a 12-inch round. All of our templates come with multiple sizes in the pack. And so you can go ahead and just pull up the 12-inch size and print this, and it'll fit on an 11 by 14 canvas. So it's a great way to kind of use your door hanger templates in other ways. A couple little video clips. I kind of forgot about that. So we're going in with the Purple Cow. And I was thinking about if I do lettering, I thought about doing it in navy. I thought it might complement. Originally, I think on the design it had purple lettering, but then I was like, well, I kind of like the idea of adding navy. I think that will complement the purple that's already on here. See if you can get a close-up of my hands painting. If you need to, you can come on the other side. Michael's making videos while I'm painting. I told him the other day, I said, we've gotten out of the habit of having you catch clips of me painting up close for like TikTok and things. So I was like, I got to remember when we're painting today to have you make a couple videos. Fill it in, and then we're going to get some white and just swipe, swipe, swipe up from the bottom to kind of add just a little bit of fun variation. Let's do it on this one. A little bit more purple. Real simple. We're not going to go over complicated with this. Hey, Marina, glad you were able to join me. You think navy would be pretty? Okay, up next, I think we need to start adding our greenery, but I'm going to dry this first because I don't want to accidentally mess up any of our flowers while we're doing that. That's probably good. Thank you. Okay, the green I'm using is New Leaf. So I'm going to get a little bit of that. And I might add just a touch of like yellow or something off to the side here, like a drop of yellow. That way I can kind of make like a lighter version of the green and have a little bit of variety in there. Yeah, Sabrina, we're still live on Tuesdays at noon. I have changed things up a little bit this year. I'm not doing Fridays anymore. I had been doing Friday Fab 5, and I know some of you guys really missed that. But since my son is in wrestling and every Saturday is almost always a wrestling tournament day, I've lost my Saturdays. And so it's been really nice to kind of not have anything to do on Fridays. This past Friday, I baked a bunch of bread and did stuff like that and did some meal prepping. And then I've also been going live on Wednesdays for Whatnot. So I'm still doing my Tuesday lives. However, last Tuesday I was out of town. I had to go take my mom to pick my mom up from the airport. So my routine's been a little off schedule lately.
And me and Corey we'll still probably do, the occasional Friday Fab 5, especially, around hunting time or Christmas.
Well, I may still do the occasional one as well, but it might be on a Tuesday instead of a Friday. So We'll just kind of play it by ear and see how that goes. So, but yes, for the most part, you can still find me on Tuesdays at noon here. So if you haven't been getting notifications letting you know that I was going live, you can get those by commenting channel, and it'll send you a message to your Facebook Messenger. If you're on YouTube, if you comment channel, I'll come back later and send you the link where you can get those broadcast messages. They'll come through Facebook Messenger.
I'm with Dawn. I do love Navy. Navy is probably one of my favorite colors, but that's more so because of the Marine Corps. Connie said, caught you live. Is there still tickets for PC Live?
Yes, we have 7 tickets left. So if you're wanting to grab one of those, the link is inside the Painters Clubhouse Facebook group, and you can go and grab one now. 7 left as of yesterday.
We've already started cutting some of the designs for those.
Yep, we've been working on the projects and getting everything ready. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of extend these down pretty far, and then I'm going to fill in the rest with grass. So I may make the grass a little bit of a brighter. Actually, let me dry this because I might want to do 2 coats on these little stems. Haley said, I'm needing to paint my Give Thanks to the Lord door hangers. That's the ones that were in the big box of blanks. Like, maybe that was year before last. She said, but I've been busy with other projects with her grandmother, Janet Hunter. I'm glad to hear you guys are still painting regularly together. That's awesome. Actually, I may take a touch of a darker green and kind of add that in. Let's see. Maybe.
Tina Jordan said, got mine. Hubby got it for me. Got it for my birthday last week.
Got what?
I think she's talking about a ticket for PC.
Oh.
I could be wrong.
That was way too much dark green. I didn't mean to drop it right in the middle of that beautiful yellowy green that I had made. That's okay. Oh yeah, it just burped right out of the bottle all over everything. That was not my intention.
I had last week I had a pretty lengthy VA telezoom call, and I used her office. While I was sitting there doing the Zoom call, I took one of her paint trays and I picked all of the dried paint out of it.
Kind of entertained you, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's one of those things that you find satisfying.
Okay, I'm just going right back on top of the green that I already had there. And so I'm going to use that as my stems, and then I'm going to have to put it in another little container here. I'm going to take that new leaf and add a little yellow to it to make a brighter green. And we're going to use that for grass.
Trisha said, I'm so excited to make it to Kentucky this year. My daughter and I are going to be there.
Wonderful.
And then Stephanie said, I'm glad it's warmer today. I have some door hangers that she needs to clear coat. Yeah, I think this week it's warmer weather. We've actually even had the garage doors open at the shop for blowing off door hangers and stuff like that. It's been nice.
All right, now I'm picking up a round tip brush and going to get this green. And this is the fun part. You just get to sit here and put in. Actually, I think I need a broader brush than this. Let's use this one. It's got a lot more bristles. We're going to be able to make thicker strokes.
Dalton Doorhanger said, I would love to come to Gatlinburg and Murray, Kentucky. However, I would feel guilty leaving my husband here at home alone in his condition.
I completely understand.
I don't know what's going on with him. I hope he gets better.
Feel free to switch between greens when you're doing this, because if it all starts to look like one color of green, then it might not look natural. So I'm just kind of filling that whole area in with little swipes of green. And every now and then I'm switching back to the other green. That whole kind of area covered.
Happy little grass.
Happy little grass. And then come back in, and after it kind of starts to dry, you can come in and put more individual blades. And if you don't like sitting there and doing that, you could also do this and just kind of color block it in. That might be faster. And then come back and do little blades of grass in a minute. So I may do that. Kind of ensures that you get better coverage too.
Yeah. Marie said it's 73 Missouri. Honey Branch Decor said, "Hi everyone. It's been a while since I've watched you all." And then Connie said, "Just got my ticket for PC Live. My husband is coming with me for the trip. Can he come Friday evening?" And
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. I think last time we did it in Kentucky, there was quite a few husbands, and we take everybody through kind of how we do things in the shop, and we'll run some of the equipment and whatnot. And there's a lot of you guys and husbands and stuff that have questions, and we try to answer them all. Oh, Dalton Door Hangers. Her husband had a stroke in 2020.
I gotcha. Yeah, Friday night is a little more casual. You can bring your husbands in. We can tour the wood shop. We'll have some desserts and things. We are even planning on doing a small, brief, low-key kind of activity that night that's kind of crafty without giving too much away and telling you what it is. And then Saturday will be mainly just the ladies. And so we'll be crafting together all day that Saturday, July 11th. Okay, we got our kind of background color here. I'm going to dry it, and then we're going to come back in and add some variation of color. On Friday night, I believe it starts at like 7 p.m. So we want you to be able to go eat dinner and then come and have dessert. And then Saturday, we'll kick off around, I think like you can get there as early as maybe 8 a.m. or 9. I don't know exactly. I think it officially starts at 9 on Saturday. But we might have like donuts or something like that, like mingle breakfast food Saturday morning at 8. Huh?
Yeah. For donuts.
Oh, whoops.
They have really good donuts.
Okay, I've got my grass laid down there, so I'm going to go through here and pick up some other colors of green and just kind of add some little blades in here now.
I think Dawn realized that it was 2 days.
Yeah, it's not 2 full days. It's like Friday evening for a couple hours and then all day on Saturday. So you definitely want to come up earlier on Friday afternoon so you can get checked into your hotel and then come out and join us. Go to dinner somewhere in Murray and then come out and join us.
I know some of the ladies before have asked, is there stuff their husbands do like on Saturday? I know there's quite a few different golf courses in the area. And then, of course, Land Between the Lakes is close by. I don't know who all fish is or whatever. But
I'm going to add even more yellow to get more variety of color here.
I also know that we'll probably have the farmer's market going. So that Saturday morning,
if you're an early morning person, you can get, well, I was going to say you can go before you come out here, but
yeah,
the husbands could go. Yeah. All right. I lightened that color even more. So we're just going to go back in. I like to kind of have the darker color in the background and have the lightest green on top. Because it, it kind of creates a little bit of depth. You can see that lighter color popping out on the top and then darker colors in the back.
Dawn said that USA got silver and curling. I never have understood curling.
Yeah, curling is a weird sport to me, but my aunt likes to watch it. I don't get it.
Well, it does remind me. Now, I guess it's similar, where it's a table and you're standing at it, and you there's like salt.
Shuffleboard. It's like shuffleboard on the table.
Yeah, similar to shuffleboard. Yeah. Haley Hunter said, "I can't wait to see y'all at SA Live in October."
I'm so glad you're coming. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, we lost a little bit of our leaves in there.
Carlos said, "Hi, Tamara and friends from Indiana."
But don't worry too much about that because, like I said, we can come back with our paint pens and kind of define some of that a little bit and bring it back out. Okay, let's work on Henrietta's eyes. I'm going to get a really small brush for this. Maybe. Yeah, there's one. And black.
Is there a particular number to that brush or anything?
This is a number 1, and it's in that brush pack that kind of came from like our workshop kits and things like that. Brett took some of my paints the other day, and so all of my typical colors that I use are not over here. Like, I don't know where my black paint went. Shake this up really good. Either that or I'm going to have to use a paint pen. This might be a good opportunity to try my new paint pens. We got fine tip. Again, these are the apple barrel paint pens from Walmart. I just got them and wanted to try them. So we might try these on Henrietta's eyes because this might work better than doing that anyway. Have any of you guys tried these yet? I'm curious to know if they bleed like Posca pens bleed when you seal over them and stuff like that. So this is the extra, wait a second, the fine tip. Do we need to bring anything on Saturday? Lights, pens, etc. No, but if you have particularly favorite pens and stuff like that, you could bring them, but you don't have to. We'll have everything you need. No, I'll just use the back of this. This is a brand new pen, so I got to kind of prime it and get it going. Okay, that is more than, that's more than, that's not quite as fine as I thought it would be. So I'm going to not use that one. And I've got one that is ultra fine tip here. And we're just going to destroy the packaging because I can't seem to get that open without messing it up. It's okay. Oh, there we go. That's way big difference. So that's fine tip. This is extra ultra fine.
Does it just say ultra fine or does it have a measurement?
I don't know. I tore the packaging up.
1 second.
I don't know. I tore the packaging up. Don't bump me now. Let me zoom in so they can see what I'm doing. Let's see. Whoop. Let's zoom way in here.
Nope, it just says ultra fine tip. I know some of them might have like be in millimeters or something.
Yeah.
And you said, I hope those work really well because I'm sure they're a lot cheaper than possible.
Well, and the fact that they're available at Walmart, you know, we're always at Walmart. I'm always placing a Walmart grocery order. So this is just so convenient. If these are nice to be able to pick something like this up right along with your groceries, it's real nice.
Sabrina wanted to know, do you have a particular brand of a paper fill screen protector you use? I got one for my new iPad and Procreate lessons, but it has a temper glass thing with it and it won't read my pencil.
I did used to have one linked in my Amazon favorites underneath like Procreate must-haves or something like that. But I don't even know if that particular brand is still available. I bought it so long ago. So I would say just look in my Amazon favorites and see what that one is. It's like a matte screen protector.
Do you remember if it's stated in the description or in the whatnot, if it stated that it would work with the
I mean, yeah, I think it did, but a lot of them claimed to. So it sounds like hers maybe claimed to or was supposed to and then didn't. So I would definitely return it on Amazon and see if you can get your money back.
Honey Branch, of course, said I've been using the acrylic paint markers from Amazon, and you can get 24 of them, and they're on sale right now for $7.63.
Nice.
And she really likes them.
Are they Amazon, like an Amazon brand? After this paint dried, I realized this definitely needs another coat. So I'm going in here and just adding a quick second coat before we finish things up. Okay, I'm going to dry this, and then I think we're going to go back with our paint pens, add some finishing details, and then we'll come back in and add our lettering. It says, "Hello, Spring." Either that, or this would be a good opportunity if you had another saying you wanted to put on there, like something kind of funny, like a chicken saying. You could put your own custom lettering on there. If you're not sure how to do custom lettering, my easiest tip would be to open up like Canva or some kind of program like that. Find a font that you love, type it up, and then there's like on Canva, there's settings that allow you to see like a ruler or grid, so you can see the size that it's going to be. And so something like this, you would probably need it to be like 6 inches by about 4 inches or something like that, so that it would fit on your canvas. Okay, I'm going to use the ultra fine. I was like, how do you tell? It says right there, ultra fine paint pen. And then we're just going to go in and add some little details to make our chicken come alive. So this is why I said, like, a lot of the things that are probably bothering you about your project, little imperfections and things like that, won't bother you so much after you get some of these little details added on there. And feel free to kind of have a bit of a shaky hand with some of this. Like, I intentionally made that look scratchy so that it looked a little bit less perfect. And keep your baby wipe handy, because if you make a stroke with your paint pen or something that you're just like, that went completely outside the lines, doesn't look like I wanted it to look, you should be able to wipe it away with your baby wipe really quickly. Go back along the back here. I'm going to do some scratchy, squiggly lines so she looks fluffy. And then let's see, I'm going to start with my flowers and come in here. Let me look at the picture real quick. The picture helps a lot. Like, if you're struggling with figuring out how to add the lines back and all you had was like your original template or whatever, use the picture and kind of go in here and just kind of sketch on top of the design to add in the shapes of the flowers. So already you can see that really starts to bring that flower alive. And if the fine tip's too fine for you, use the medium tip. I always like to start with a finer one than you think, because it can easily start to feel a little bit too thick. For me, I kind of like the finer details rather than the thick ones. This part's the fun part to me, because it feels like you get to just come in here and just doodle and play and make the flowers kind of come alive.
Henry Bradford, of course, at limited time deal are Artistro 24 acrylic paint markers for rock, fabric, wood, glass decorations.
I like Artistro too. That's a good brand. Okay, simple little flowers. And then I'm going to go down through here and add some lines to make our stems and leaves kind of pop out.
Trish wanted to know, how do you choose between black and white for the detail?
So black I usually use for outlining, and white I usually use for more like just subtle little highlights. So think of white as something to make the light pop off of it, but black to kind of anchor and give the design a little bit more shape. So, I kind of defined the leaves a little bit better with that black. White wouldn't be able to do that as much. Okay, I think that's good. If we want to use the white, I can kind of give you some examples. The white will be a little harder to see on camera, but let's shake this up and get it primed here. Oh, that's not the extra fine one. Do I have a white and extra fine? That's a medium tip.
What comment can I post from rings on it?
AMZ space. Medium tip, medium tip. Maybe I didn't buy an ultra fine one in white. I thought I did, but I don't see it on the table. It doesn't work on yours. I'll have to do it on mine, because it's a keyboard shortcut on my device.
It's just random AMZ posts that you made.
It's okay. There we go. Oh, wait. Is this white or black? I guess it's black because it's got a black lid. So we'll use the white, but we'll do the fine tip. Get it. There we go. Okay, it's primed. You want to make sure you can make a little line or squiggle first. So for something like this, let me zoom y'all in. Yeah, see, this is annoying. Zoom in like this. I like my remote a little better. Okay, so you could add like some little lines like this or some little highlights to kind of make that comb and wattles kind of stand out a little bit more. If you needed to do the dots in the center of your eyes. But like I wouldn't do a ton of white because if you do too much white, then it's distracting. You want it to kind of just be an accent that makes things look like the light is bouncing off of them. So you could do a few little accents on your flower petals, kind of like this. But I always try to do less and then see if it feels like it's missing something. If it feels like it's missing something, then I can always go back and add more, but it's hard to dial it back if you've already added too much.
So just briefly using those, Amy said it seems like those paint markers are working pretty well.
Yeah, that white covers really well. I was adding a little bit to my stems and my leaves. And sometimes it can be hard to decide, like, how do you know when you're done? And so I'll usually kind of step back and look, and I look at different parts of it, and I'm like, okay, is it missing something? If it feels like it's missing something, like it feels like it doesn't have enough detail down here, then I might go back and grab my black pen and add just a few little blades of grass or something like that down here.
Oh, yeah. Limited time deal. Artistro 24.
Good deal. And see, I'm just going in here and highlighting just a few of those little blades of grass to make them look a little bit more defined. So now that feels detailed enough for me. So then I'm going to look and say, okay, does Henrietta look like she has enough detail? If I wanted to, I could kind of doodle in like a wing or something. But all of that's behind the flowers, and I don't want to distract from the flowers, so I'm not going to do that. So then I look at her face. Okay, does she have enough, detail on her face? I don't see anything else that I would do different, except I might add the tiniest of white highlights on the upper part of her beak. And that's going to be hard to do with that paint pen that I have. So I'm going to take a teeny bit of white on a brush. And that kind of makes her face feel like, to me, it's like it's got a little bit more light on it. Now we're ready for our sky, for our words in the sky. So let me dry this. The thing you want to do is when you get ready to do something else like this, you want to make sure everything's really dry. Because if you make a blooper, it's a lot easier to clean up with a baby wipe if everything on the background is really dry. Her feathers look great. Thank you, Marina. There is a tutorial in the Painters Clubhouse for painting Henrietta in the fall. She's in a bunch of leaves. It was one of our past workshops. So if you like the chicken look, you can go do a fall chicken design. That one's in our workshops. Okay, getting our template back out here. I don't have to perfectly line this up, but I can kind of match the flowers on the side to get it close. And I can actually almost see through the paper a little bit to see too. Or you can do like this. To me, this reminds me of like a flip book. I'm like, okay, yeah, I am pretty close there. So I'm going to tape that. Whoops, I got green paint all over that. Didn't even realize it. And then we're going to put our graphite paper back underneath. The thing you want to be sure of is that your canvas, make sure your hand's clean, is really dry. If it's not, you'll accidentally stick that graphite paper to some wet paint and regret it. So make sure it's dry. Come back on here with our, and the reason we're doing this now is because sometimes if you do it first, it's hard to see it through your blue paint. I think I probably would have been able to see it through the blue paint, but sometimes it can be hard. And sometimes you just want to add your lettering last. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just tracing in the center of these letters. Now, there's two ways to go about the spring part. Like I could trace the inside and outside of the letter, or I could trace right down the center. If you're confident adding thickness to your lettering, I would say trace right down the center of the lettering and you add the thickness yourself. And you can kind of do that by looking at the picture to make sure you got it pretty close. So and then it'll look a little bit more like hand lettering instead of like you traced it from a template.
For those who are, Amazon does also have a deal on are START26 acrylic paint markers, and they're dual tip for $9.98. Normally it's $21.99, but you can get 36 actually under $10.
Good deal. Okay, going with the Royal Navy that we talked about for the lettering. I'm going to add just a tiny spritz of water to it to thin it out.
I know a couple people, the letterings where they have the anxiety.
Well, I would advise you to keep a baby wipe handy. Make sure everything's good and dry. And that way you can just, wipe it off if you mess up or whatever. But see, you can see my traced lettering there. So I'm just taking this little flat tip, round tip brush, size 1, and I'm just going to start at the top of the lettering, push down, 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 lift up. Now, if you need to, you can start at the bottom and go back up to meet that brush stroke because this is like monoline right here. Monoline meaning the weight of each brush stroke is about the same. So you're not going to have any areas that are supposed to be significantly thicker than others. And I'm re-dipping my brush frequently. So you'll see me after almost every brush stroke go back and re-dip my brush. The amount of pressure you put down also makes a difference. If you're terrified to do this with a brush, just do it with a paint pen. But if you've been using a paint pen for a while and you're like, I wish I could do it with a brush, give it a try. You will find that you will get better and better and better with it. And then you'll be faster at doing the lettering because of that.
You'll use, you've used in the past, you still do, the multimedia books to kind of practice things.
Yes, I do a lot. Whoop. There's a little piece of fuzz hanging from my brush here. So I'm going to kind of just get the shape of the letter on this one, and then I'll go back and add the weight that we were talking about. So there's the general shape. But like if I'm looking at my template, see how there's a thickness? We'll put this right here kind of, I don't want to get it on that. That wasn't very smart. Okay. But we're going to use kind of the thickness of the letter here kind of as our guide. So I'm going to go thicker here, keeping that tip really thin, and then going down the edge here, we're going to go thicker toward the middle of the letter. And then we're going to thicken it up going across just a bit, almost double the thickness. Soften that curve up a little bit. And then going down, it gets just a little thicker right here.
Nobody asked this, but could you demonstrate like having a mess up and you need a baby wipe?
I probably could.
I don't know.
It's kind of risky because I might not be able to clean it up as well, but.
Elizabeth Douglas said, faster and hand lettering do not go in the same sentence for her.
They will the more you do it. And I'm just using the template here and looking at the template as my guide for how thick to make the brush strokes. I feel like the key is always doing a bit of a downstroke. So I'm almost always pulling the brush like this towards me. So if I'm not doing that, then I'm going extra slow, extra careful to like do the brush stroke the direction I need to do it. So downstrokes for me, I always have more control and I feel more confident making them.
Some of that's to me, like I'm hearing you explaining, it's a lot like TIG welding. How hard are you gripping the paintbrush?
About like I do a pencil. Like I've got a good grip, especially with my thumb right here. I'm applying a lot of pressure. And then the amount of pressure that I'm putting down on the canvas is important too. So like this stroke right here going up, I have almost minimal pressure. The tip of my bristles, that last like 2% is the only thing touching the canvas. But then for this part right here where I'm going down, I'm going to push down and put about the top 30% of the bristles down, and I get a broader stroke.
Haley Hunter said, I told Janet Hunter about something about a Valentine's Holland cow, and she was telling me I should do a light brush with white. And I said no, because I know it will look bad, and now she's gonna come up here.
Like she's going to come visit you to make sure you do it. Is that what you're saying? That's funny.
It makes me think of there's a golf video I've seen, and I think it's Jack Nicklaus, and he's playing on the hole with another. It's a younger golfer, and the younger golfer's got just this really long
I should have had you make a video of me doing this lettering.
putt to do, and Jack Nicklaus was like, I don't understand. Like they're sitting there going back and forth. He's like, I don't understand. Just putt it, and you don't hear exactly, but the young golfer's like, well, you come up here and do it. And so Jack Nicklaus goes up there, puts the golf ball down, and sits there, and it looks like no time at all, just hits the putt. And we're talking, this is probably a 75-foot putt with hills and stuff like that, and sinks it right in.
Makes it look easy because he's probably done that putt a million times. All right, there we go. Our Hello Spring Henrietta. Michael asked me about the edges. So now's when we can add some details to the edges. Huh? Yeah, I do need to let the lettering dry. We don't want to mess that up. We worked too hard on that for that to get messed up.
And Haley Hunter said yes. Janet's coming up next week.
Oh, good. Thank you, Amy. Okay, we're drying it. What do you think I should do along the edges? We could do a solid like border. We could do stripes. And like what colors?
Corey Downey said, I saw
navy
Michael
and
the other
purple?
day, and he got others since the last time I saw him.
Be nice, Corey.
I would inform Corey that's because I was wearing a UK hoodie.
Okay, I think I'm going to do purple and navy. So that's mostly dry. So I'm going to take my purple cow and I'm going to go along the edges here and add like a border. This is optional. You could also just leave it white or paint the edges like whatever's on the front.
Maggie said hello from Oregon. So super cute. Patricia suggested navy and purple.
Navy and purple complement one another really well.
Amy Iverson said something with one of the tulip colors. Corey said blue, of course.
Of course he did. We're doing it solid purple, and then we'll go back and add navy on top of the purple. To me, this adds a fun little pop of personality when you're kind of walking by the canvas. You'll see this kind of peeping out on the edges.
Yeah, Amy Anderson coming. Corey down here, you're just saying that because of conception.
Yep. We are not surprised at all.
Corey was at PC Live in Destin, and of course, I think one of the designs was a house, and he painted it UK blue, and he's like, "Y'all didn't give me enough blue." I was like, "Well, man, you're using it over the entire thing."
It's because that design was not intended to be blue, but
Hey, but he did him.
I was trying to do it in a way that didn't get it over on the front, but I could have taken the time to tape it off, but who has time for that? And I think it probably still would have bled into the tape because it's canvas. So I'm just going to do it as carefully as I can.
Yeah, that's what the paper wax come in handy.
Well, and you could always touch it up with a little blue if you needed to.
What size canvas is that?
This is an 11 by 14. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just go around the edges with that. And now we're going to take the navy. I'm going to rinse this purple out.
Dawn said, "Have a great day."
Hey, Dawn. See you later. And now we're taking the navy. Let's start on this side. And I'm just going to do little swipes of color, almost like stripes.
You said 11 by 14?
11 by 14. We're not going for precision here. We're going for whimsical. So don't be frustrated with yourself if your stripes are a little closer together, or a little further apart, or a little less perfect. Whimsical is the goal, not perfection.
And what size did you said it was a 12-inch printout?
Yeah, it's a 12-inch template. Okay, there's our stripes on that side. Come back here, finish out that little stripe. Go over. I'm using the width of my brush as like a rough estimate for where to put the next stripe. But I'm definitely not being precise. Technically, this is the bottom of the canvas. Nobody's going to see this part anyway. It'll be setting on this.
Trisha asked, would you ever outline the front of the frame?
I probably wouldn't. Some other people probably have, but that's not something that that seems like too much trouble for me. Too much. To me, there's almost too much room for error there for like it to look like it was supposed to be perfect and it's not. And so then I would sit and pick it apart. I would rather do something like this that's a little less tedious. It's a little bit more whimsical. It's forgiving. I feel like doing some sort of frame on the front would make it not so forgiving. You could always put the canvas in some kind of frame.
Cassie Owens wanted to know, is there still a template club?
Yes, Template Club is still around. Comment TC, letters TC, and it will send you the link to join the Template Club. You get all 10 of our new releases every month for just $25. Okay, there we go. Let me take this camera view off so I can hold it like this. It's a little wet, so I'm going to try to be careful. But look how cute. Super cute little border. Now, make sure this is really nice and dry. And then you can put a sealer coat on it to make it nice and shiny. You could even add some glitter if you wanted to make parts of it glitter. But this is going to be so cute sitting in my kitchen with all of my other spring decor. And we did all of this using a 12-inch door hanger template. We traced it onto an 11 by 14 canvas and created a new piece of very fun, whimsical art. We have 10 different, I think there's 10 different chicken designs for all seasons. So if you need a patriotic chicken, we got you. If you need a Christmas chicken or a Valentine chicken, all of those, all different kinds of chicken designs. I put the link to the chicken templates in the video description for you. And if you need a little bit of guidance getting started with door hanger painting, comment START26 and I'll send you my door hanger basics guide, perfect for beginners to get you started. We do have a spring workshop coming up. Signups will be March 24th. So if you want to do a door hanger with me in a group setting where you follow step by step and paint your first door hanger, we will have more information on that to come. Thank you all for joining me today.
And we're also doing tomorrow.
What's tomorrow? Whatnot. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be live on Whatnot at 12 noon Central. So you can comment the word Whatnot to get the link to that and join us there. Any questions before we go? Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Crystal and Haley. Whimsical is your forte. Mine too, Sherry. When you paint something whimsical, it takes the pressure off of trying to do it perfectly because whimsical gets to be whatever you make it. And so you can add glitter here, sparkles there, fun little accents, and nobody's going to question it because it's whimsical and fun and imaginative. And kids do that so well. So I think we need to get back to our inner child and paint more whimsically. Be sure and hit that follow button or that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, and I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.